joining us live now in our studios, and we're getting him in place as we speak right now. Another resounding win by Congressman Cohen, who's been in office now since, what, 2007?
1906.
He says 1906, but we say congratulations, Congressman. You cruised to victory with a large percentage of the vote. Last night you said, though, you couldn't really enjoy it because you said our Constitution and our values are in great danger with Donald Trump as president-elect.
Well, first I want to say I appreciate every vote I had, and for the voters ratifying my work and asking me to do it for another 2 years. It's a great honor to represent the 9th District. I do go back in a different situation. When I first went to Congress, we had Democratic majority in this House. We had it for the first 2 terms. Then we had President Obama as president, and this time, as I go back, we will be in a minority and we won't have a president, so it's going to be much more difficult. Fortunately, I know how the system works, and we'll try to make it the best we can for our community and speak out when we need to point out things that are happening that are wrong for our community and for our country. I do think that we have a serious problem in this election as president. I understand that the 2 candidates were the 2 least liked candidates we've ever had in our country's history. Hillary Clinton did get the most of the votes, a majority of the popular vote. And the truth of the matter is, you can listen to all the pundits on MSNBC talking about all their theories of this and that, and they've all changed their positions. James Comey cost this election for Hillary Clinton. If it weren't for Comey in his totally unprecedented statement 9 days before the election, Hillary Clinton would have been president. The glass ceiling would have been broken. And programs that are important to this district, SNAP payments, WIC payments, LIHEAP, different programs, we continue. They won't now, and it's going to be hard times considering the federal government's been the best friend Memphis has had for the last 10 years.
I was going to ask you about James Comey. You answered that, saying yes, you do indeed blame him for Hillary Clinton not winning or losing last night. But I wanted, you seem almost like you're at a funeral, Congressman. Things can't be that bad. You've got a Congress that may not, nobody gets along with Donald Trump like that. You don't think it's going to be easy for him to lay out a plan and make it happen. You know that. The president can't just do that. You guys are in office and you can fight for whatever you believe.
We can fight for whatever we believe, but the Republicans have a majority. The Freedom Caucus is stronger than ever. They will work with Trump on some issues to be serious to my constituents, places where the safety net. I don't think there's going to be any concern about the safety net. They're going to be concerned about the deficit. They're going to build a wall. That's going to be expensive. They're going to spend money on their programs with the limited amount of money that they're going to have. It's going to be bad for people who need health insurance. They're going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And there are people with pre-existing conditions that will not have insurance, and they will die. There will be people who, many people will die because the Affordable Care Act is not carried out. Let me say this. I mentioned about Comey and his effect on the election, and I think it's just shocking that in America an FBI director caused the president to be elected. But secondly, all those WikiLeaks tapes, those came from Russia. And Putin and Russia affected this election as well. It's a scary time when our greatest enemy takes sides, puts out information, leaks it out, and the FBI director acts on the other issue. The 2 biggest issues against her were the WikiLeaks, which brought out the speeches. Sure, Hillary Clinton wasn't the best candidate, and they exposed her weaknesses. The emails, bad. The speeches and the money from the big banks and some of the statements she made. But it was Russia and Comey who delivered them, and that's scary.
This morning we reported in the last 2 hours that the Russian president, Putin, did extend congratulations to Donald Trump. I don't know if that's happened with other presidents, but also President Obama has issued his congratulations and invited President-elect Donald Trump to the White House. Trump says we need to be united and work as one. Do you believe he can be conciliatory and bandage the wounds this nation has sustained during this election?
We'll have to see. I mean, we don't know what we can believe from what this man has said. He has been so cruel. Whether it was Jeb Bush and whatever name he gave him, and Lion Ted and Little Marco and what was it? The crook for Hillary.
Hillary, yeah.
Crooked Hillary. And he doesn't take well to opposition. He's vindictive. He's in his whole life, he's attacked people, whether it's been people who worked with him in business. He didn't pay his subcontractors. He didn't pay, in this campaign, he didn't pay his pollster. He doesn't have a reputation. His past has been one of a vindictive individual who doesn't forget and gets even. I'll be surprised if he can come in and be Mr. Magnanimous. I watched the speech last night. I stayed up very late. He didn't say he was going to jail Hillary. I'd be surprised if his Justice Department doesn't get an indictment, but last night he was conciliatory. Maybe he can change. I don't think a lot of what he said during this campaign was what he truly believed. I think he said it to get elected, and he has very little interest in the working man and those issues. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, theoretically, you try to work with somebody, but when he's going to bring a Giuliani or Chris Christie or some of those people in, and he's got the Ku Klux Klans and racists who supported him, like David Duke, and he likes people who help him, and he doesn't like people who don't. I worry for the country.
Congressman, you've been in the election business, politics for a long, long time, in the state level and now the national level. You seem beaten today, even though you won.
I went to bed at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 7:30. I'm tired.
How about a word of hope? The world's not over. It's going to be okay at some point. We have good men and women in Congress.
Not enough of them. I do feel beaten. I can't. It's a different Washington you go back to. This is a man of bluster, a misogynist. This is an egomaniac. This is the most unprepared person we've ever had in history go into the White House. We've never had anybody like this. He's a reality TV star. You don't run the world's most powerful economy and have the keys to the nuclear weapons and the possibility of war or peace with a man who thinks in terms of reality TV. He said he's going to put 30,000 troops in the Middle East to defeat ISIS. That's a lot of people who are going to die. It's going to create a lot of enemies in the Middle East, looking at America as an imperialistic war power who kills Arabs and who don't like Muslims. We're going to have trouble in the Middle East. That's going to create terrorism back here. You can't build a wall to keep them out. We got problems. I'm worried about our country.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I know we're going to talk to you again in the next few days. We thank you for coming in on, 2 or 3 hours of sleep in a very long